you realize that you're constantly putting out the same fire over and over and over, and it's just Groundhog Day, right? So until you move that piece of the checkerboard over and say, okay, wait a minute.
Welcome to Unstoppable Podcast with Harry Sardinas, inspiring conversations with influential millionaires, investors, thought leaders, entrepreneurs who are making a massive difference with their innovative products and services, and sharing the challenges and the wisdom of how they sold their first million.
How would you like to achieve your first million? And today we have Ryan with us, which is a serial entrepreneur and a very successful entrepreneur with comprehensive bio. So Ryan, tell us, what are the 5 steps to make your first million?
Yeah, so I think this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart. Number one is just start, right? You're never going to get to the finish line unless you take your first step. I think that's probably the most important. And, people get hung up on that so much where they think, well, I don't have the money. I don't have this. I don't have the skill set to do that. To me, if you really believe in a dream, you will find a way. Like the universe sort of opens that door. Now, on the other side of that door is 300 more, and then 3,000 more, and then 30,000 more.
Wow.
But until you open the first one, you're never going to know, right? So I do think that you have to be ready to go full speed, but go. Like if that's your life's dream and that's what you think you're put on this earth to do, then absolutely go for it and never stop. Two, the second step, and I think most people skip this one, and I think it's probably the most important, is you have to change your mindset of what it takes, what you are willing to give up to reach your goal. No one on planet Earth, as far as I'm concerned, has ever reached a goal without blood, sweat, and tears, right? Now, maybe there's some exceptions to the rule, but even if you look at lottery winners, some of those sorts of things, they get there too quickly, and then most of them, it just poof, it goes away, right? Yeah. So without the hardships, without the pain, without the struggle, really the goal doesn't mean much, in my opinion. So in my world, it's investing. And I talk, this is probably what I talk most about, is the mindset of an investor, changing your mindset from a consumer to an investor, entrepreneur, which means changing your headspace from what's the next car, the next watch, the next whatever it is, material thing, to trying to solve the world's problems. Right. And in this case, it's whatever that dream and goal is. And it's probably to be successful in my mind, it's solving a world's problem in whatever regard that means. And then step number 3, once you have that mindset of go, 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 and have the urgency, which if you don't have the urgency, somebody else will, is to make a plan. And I think that as you're going along, I said start, and I do mean that wholeheartedly, but as you take these steps and these doors open, and there's a million more that you have to walk through, you have to develop a plan of action. And you can't be exorbitant with your expenses. You have to bring the right people on the bus, which is team building. All of these things are strategic, very strategic. And when I say go, 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 I don't mean willy-nilly. I mean with a purpose, right? And in my mind, until it's down on paper and everybody that's on the bus is paddling in the right direction, you're never going to get there, right? Somebody's going to be paddling this way, somebody's going to be paddling that way, and now you're just going around in a circle. So as you're moving forward, move forward with purpose, with a strategy, with, as you go along, you're going to learn. So constantly reevaluating that plan is so important. And then at number 4, I would say, is carry out the plan, right? So as you're developing these strategies, don't sit back on them, move on it. Find the people, find the consultants. I'll give you a little secret here. most likely your first consultant of whatever it is probably not going to work out. So you might as well just go and, part of all of this is making decisions quickly, fail forward. Because as an entrepreneur, man, you better get ready. And that's the mindset thing, right? There's going to be so many failures. And you learn from them. You learn to love the struggle. If it was handed to you again on a silver platter, it's really not going to mean much. And so when you get to the finish line, whatever that day will be, probably for you and me, it'll be, as we're knocking on death's door and looking back on our life, you're really going to remember those struggles and how you overcame them, or how the business overcame them, and how you sort of, moved in this direction. Business is a chessboard, man. It's all about moving the pieces. It doesn't matter what happens, even if things are spiraling out of control. It's still about chess. It's not fire. Like, all entrepreneurs get addicted to putting fires out, right? That's really not what it's about. It's about moving the pieces on the chessboard, right? And until, in my mind, you figure that out, and although you're moving very purposefully in a very rapid pace forward, you have to keep composure. You have to keep in mind your goal, and each step, although it's quickly, is moving the next piece on the board, right?
Yeah,
Moving that piece on the board. And when that piece gets knocked over, here's the thing. It's not like chess and, on the game board. You get to pick that piece back up and you get to keep moving it, right? It's a lot like Warren Buffett says, we're not playing baseball here. Although we're standing in the batter's box, we can stand there and take pitches all day long until we have to swing, right? We never have to swing. But you want to not let, straight down the pipe fastballs get past you 14 in a row, right? You don't want to be up there just looking and just watching life go by. You want to be moving and you want to pick the right pitch, but you also don't want to swing at the wrong one, right? And so
100%.
all of us have done it. The reason I'm sitting here today is because I've swung at that curveball that was just right out of range about 1 million times.
Yeah.
And so you pick yourself up, you dust yourself off, and guess what? There's not the 3-strike rule, right? We just keep getting to swing away. And that's the beauty of all of this entrepreneurship. Like, there is no box, right? We're making the box. We can make it whatever we want to make it. We can believe whatever we want to believe. The world really is our oyster. And I believe none of us, even as entrepreneurs, think big enough. I truly believe that. And number 5, I think I already alluded to, would be constant reevaluation of what's going on, team exercises. All right, what went wrong? Why did it go wrong? How can we fix it? Because what tends to happen is when you have all these fires to put out, right? You realize that you're constantly putting out the same fire over and over and over, and it's just Groundhog Day, right? So until you move that piece of the checkerboard over and say, okay, wait a minute, there's an efficient way to fix this problem, right? You're never going to build your business, honestly. It's going to stay stagnant because you are putting out all the fires, and now no one else knows how to put out the fires, although they probably want to help you. They have no way of knowing what it is that, they don't know the direction to row. And so as a leader, as an entrepreneur, and the captain of the ship, that's probably one of the most important things I can get across to the audience today is, as a leader, it's your job to set the direction of the rowing, right?
Yeah.
And if somebody's not rowing in the same direction, there's either one of two problems. A, they don't know how to row in the direction that you want, or B, it's just never going to happen, right? So that goes back to the right seats on the bus. Unfortunately or fortunately, sometimes people get to move on to bigger and better, opportunities. And so that, in a well-oiled team, well-oiled machine, and that's really what I try to build in these businesses, is a machine, right? Is constantly trying to take myself out of that next process, right? Like standard operating procedures, you can call it whatever you want, the blueprints, playbooks, there's a million different names. But the idea is efficiency, right? So you're doing the same processes over and over and over and over again. Those processes after the 150th failure probably should have less failures.
Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential, audacious entrepreneurs that overcame challenges and adversity, providing you with the blueprint of how they sold their first million so you can grow your business exponentially.